All right, plane geometry, section 1.6, common angles. We went a little bit into the angle, started learning about it. Now we're going to talk about common angles. The first one's going to be a paragon. When generating, that's going to be one of your keywords, paragon. When the generating line makes a complete revolution, that angle formed is called a paragon. So basically that would be if you start at this point and you go all the way around back to that point, that's a paragon. All right, we talked about it in algebra 2, that would have been 360 degrees, an entire revolution or a full circle. The next one we'll talk about is a straight angle. All right, so a straight angle would be an angle whose sides form one straight line extending through the vertex. So if the vertex is right here, and you go like that, it makes a perfectly straight line. That would be a straight angle. You know that to be 180 degrees, that would be a straight angle. Adjacent angles. When two angles have the same vertex and a common side between them. Same vertex and a common side. They're considered to be adjacent angles. So like on this example here, angle AOB, so angle from A to O to B, is adjacent to angle BOC. Alright, so angle AOB is adjacent to BOC because they share a common vertex and a common side. But angle AOC is not adjacent to the other. You can't include both of them and still be adjacent. It has to be two completely separate angles. They don't overlap areas. Alright, so that would be adjacent. Adjacent means next to. Adjacent angles. Use the same one here twice. This is a right angle. All right. Right angles is when one straight line, AC, meets another, OB, has to make two equal adjacent angles. So I've got angle AOB and BOC. They're adjacent to each other and they're equal to each other. So when it makes two equal adjacent angles, each angle is called a right angle. And a right angle is exactly 1/2 of a straight angle. You know that to be 180 degrees, therefore a right angle is going to be 90 degrees. Right now it's more important that you understand that a right angle is defined in geometry not as 90 degrees, but rather as it's when one straight line meets another is to make two equal adjacent angles. So if you have two equal adjacent angles formed by two straight lines, that means that this straight line that we know to be 180 degrees, for it to be equal on both sides by a straight line, it has to be 90 and 90. But the important part is that you recognize it as it's formed by two straight lines and they're equal. All right, that also gives us our perpendicular lines. When two lines form right angles with each other. Two lines form right angles with each other, they're perpendicular. All right, so we know what perpendicular means. All right, so we've got an acute angle. An acute angle is an angle that's less than a right angle. So a right angle would have been basically two straight lines, half of a straight angle. Acute is less than a right angle, which means it's between 0 degrees and 90 degrees less than a right angle. And a obtuse angle an obtuse angle is greater than a right angle, but it's less than a straight angle. So, I can't spell today. So a right angle, let's see. A straight angle is greater than an obtuse angle, which is greater than a right angle. All right, so an obtuse angle is between a right angle and a straight angle. That gives us reflex. A reflex angle is greater than a straight angle. Greater than straight, but it's less than a paragon. Paragon would be all the way around. Reflex is somewhere between them. All right. There's also oblique. An oblique angle is an angle other than a right or a straight angle. So acute angles, obtuse angles, and reflex angles are all oblique angles. Lines which have the position of the sides of any of these angles, that is, lines which are not perpendicular or parallel, are called oblique lines. So oblique is all the angles that are not straight and are not right. All right. You have exercises 1.6. Got about 10 questions there to work on. Get yourself familiar with angles a little bit better. And we'll come back on 1.7.